What if I told you that most businesses don't have a marketing problem, a sales problem, or even a competition problem? What if the real problem is that people simply don't want what they're being offered? Think about that for a second. Every day, millions of Americans wake up early, fight traffic, sit through meetings, answer emails, work hard, and dream about making more money. Some launch side hustles, some start online businesses, some become freelancers, some open local service companies. Yet despite all that effort, many of them struggle to get customers. Why? It's not because they're lazy, it's not because they're untalented, and it's definitely not because success is reserved for a lucky few. The uncomfortable truth is that most people are trying to sell something that customers can easily ignore. And when customers can ignore you, they usually do. Think about that for a second. Imagine walking into a grocery store. On one shelf sits a bottle of water for $1. On another shelf sits a bottle of water for $100. You'd probably laugh at the second option. But what if that $100 bottle promised to improve your energy, help you lose weight, increase focus, and came with a money-back guarantee? Suddenly, you're not buying water anymore. You're buying a result. That's the difference. People don't buy products, people buy outcomes. People buy transformations. People buy solutions to problems that keep them awake at night. And the businesses making the most money understand this at a level most people never do. Maybe you've experienced this yourself. Maybe you've offered a service and heard, "I'll think about it." Maybe you've pitched an idea and got silence. Maybe you lowered your prices hoping customers would finally say yes. But instead of getting more sales, you attracted more hesitation, more objections, more frustration, more doubt, and eventually you started wondering if your business idea was even worth pursuing. Here's something surprising. The highest paid businesses in the world rarely win because they have the cheapest prices. They win because they make their offers feel irresistible. They make saying yes feel easier than saying no. And once you understand how that works, you start seeing business completely differently. Because success isn't about convincing people, it's about creating something people genuinely want. That's exactly what today's book is going to change. Welcome to Daily Audio Insights. I'm your host, and today we're diving into book title $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. This book has become one of the most talked about business books among entrepreneurs, consultants, agency owners, coaches, freelancers, and small business operators across America. Why does it matter so much right now? Because we're living in a world where customers have endless choices. Whether someone is hiring a fitness coach, shopping online, choosing software, or looking for a local contractor, they're overwhelmed with options. The businesses that thrive aren't always the biggest. They're the ones that create offers customers find impossible to ignore. One surprising fact is that this book exploded through word-of-mouth recommendations among entrepreneurs and creators, becoming a favorite resource for people trying to scale businesses from modest revenue to life-changing income levels. And today, we're breaking down the most powerful lessons inside it. Lesson 1. The secret isn't the product, it's the offer. Let's start with a simple question. Why can two businesses sell almost the exact same thing, yet one struggles while the other grows rapidly? The answer is hidden in something most people overlook: the offer. Most entrepreneurs spend months improving products. They tweak logos, they redesign websites, they buy new equipment, they create additional features. But customers often don't care about those things nearly as much as business owners think they do. Customers care about one thing: their desired outcome. Imagine you're a busy accountant in Chicago. You work long hours, you have 2 kids, you're exhausted. You've gained 20 pounds over the past few years. Now imagine 2 fitness coaches approach you. The first coach says, "I provide personalized workout programs, nutritional guidance, weekly check-ins, and accountability systems." Sounds reasonable. But the second coach says, imagine losing 20 pounds, fitting into your favorite clothes again, and having more energy before summer without spending hours in the gym. Notice the difference? The service may be similar, but the offer feels completely different. One describes features, the other describes a future, and people buy futures. This idea changes everything. Customers aren't purchasing what you do, they're purchasing what happens because of what you do. The more clearly you communicate that transformation, the more valuable your offer becomes. Many people assume lowering prices is the fastest path to getting more customers, but often the opposite is true. When you lower prices, you reduce perceived value. Instead of asking, how can I make this cheaper? Ask, how can I make this more valuable? That's an entirely different question, and it leads to entirely different results. Think about the last time you paid extra for convenience. Maybe it was food delivery, maybe it was expedited shipping, maybe it was premium seating. You weren't paying for the product, you were paying for the experience, the outcome, the emotional benefit, the reduction of friction. That's where value lives. The most successful businesses understand this deeply. They don't sell products, they sell certainty. They sell confidence. They sell speed. They sell peace of mind. And when customers believe the outcome is significantly more valuable than the price, resistance starts disappearing. Here's a powerful question. If someone looked at your offer today, would they immediately understand how their life improves after buying it? Or are you still describing features when you should be describing transformations? Lesson 2. Value explodes when risk disappears. Imagine you're standing on the edge of a pool. Someone says, "Jump in." You hesitate. Why? Because uncertainty creates resistance. You don't know how cold the water is. You don't know what it'll feel like. You don't know whether you'll enjoy it. Uncertainty creates fear, and fear delays action. The exact same thing happens in business.
Lesson 2. Value explodes when risk disappears. The moment money enters a conversation, uncertainty enters with it. Every customer silently asks the same question: what if this doesn't work for me? They may not say it out loud, but it's there. When someone hires a personal trainer, they wonder if they'll actually lose weight. When someone buys a course, they wonder if they'll actually learn the skill. When someone hires a marketing agency, they wonder if they'll actually get more customers. And when uncertainty is high, people hesitate. Not because they don't want the result, because they're afraid of regret. Imagine you're a young professional in Dallas. You've spent years building your career. You finally decide to start a side business. You invest money into a website, advertising, software subscriptions, and business tools. Months pass. Nothing happens. No meaningful sales, no momentum, no breakthrough. Now imagine another company approaches you and says, "If we don't help you achieve measurable progress, we'll continue working with you at no additional cost until you do." Suddenly, the conversation changes. Why? Because the perceived risk has shifted. Instead of asking whether the service works, you're thinking about whether there's any reason not to try. That's one of the biggest insights from this book. The stronger the belief in the outcome and the lower the perceived risk, the easier it becomes for customers to say yes. Many businesses focus entirely on increasing desire. Very few focus on decreasing fear, yet fear is often the real obstacle. Think about online shopping. Why do major retailers offer easy returns? Why do software companies offer free trials? Why do streaming platforms provide introductory access? Because removing risk creates trust, and trust creates action. The fascinating part is that many small businesses avoid guarantees because they're afraid people will abuse them. But most customers aren't looking for loopholes. They're looking for reassurance. They're looking for confidence. They're looking for evidence that you believe in your own solution. When you confidently stand behind your work, people notice. Imagine two dentists. The first says, "We provide excellent dental care." The second says, we'll explain every step, provide a detailed treatment roadmap, and ensure you're completely comfortable throughout the process. Both may be highly skilled, but one reduces uncertainty more effectively, and that's often enough to influence the decision. Here's the deeper revelation. People don't buy when they're convinced. People buy when they feel safe. Let that sink in. Most business owners spend years trying to become more persuasive, but persuasion becomes far less important when fear disappears. The best offers don't pressure customers, they reassure customers. Think about your own life. How many opportunities have you delayed because of uncertainty? How many goals have you postponed because the outcome wasn't guaranteed? How many decisions have you overanalyzed because you were afraid of making the wrong choice? Your customers experience those same emotions every day. The businesses that grow fastest are often the businesses that understand human psychology better than everyone else. They understand that customers aren't just evaluating products, they're evaluating risk. They're evaluating confidence. They're evaluating trust. And when trust becomes stronger than fear, action follows naturally. Imagine you're launching a consulting business. Most competitors simply promise expertise, but you promise a structured roadmap, clear milestones, measurable outcomes, ongoing support, and accountability. Now the offer feels different, not because you're working harder, because you're reducing uncertainty. That's what creates leverage. That's what creates demand. That's what creates growth. A powerful insight to remember. People rarely pay for possibility, they pay for probability. The more likely success feels, the more valuable your offer becomes. And when customers believe the outcome is almost inevitable, price becomes far less important. Lesson 3. The biggest business breakthrough is emotional. Most people think business is logical. Numbers, spreadsheets, budgets, forecasts, analytics. And yes, those things matter. But underneath every purchase decision lives something much deeper: emotion. Think about the last major purchase you made. Maybe it was a car. Maybe it was a home. Maybe it was a vacation. Maybe it was a new phone. You probably used logic to justify the decision, but emotions likely influenced it first. You wanted freedom, comfort, security, status, convenience, connection, confidence. Human beings are emotional creatures who often explain decisions with logic afterward, and the most successful offers recognize this reality. People aren't just buying solutions, they're buying feelings. Let's explore that. A person doesn't hire a financial advisor because they love investment strategies. They hire a financial advisor because they want peace of mind. A person doesn't join a gym because they enjoy treadmills. They join because they want confidence. A parent doesn't spend money on tutoring because they love worksheets. They spend money because they care about their child's future. The product is rarely the emotional destination. It's simply the vehicle. Imagine Sarah. She's 38 years old. She works full-time. She has 2 children. She's constantly busy. Every morning begins with stress. Every evening ends with exhaustion. Her goals keep getting pushed further into the future. She wants better health, more financial freedom, more time with family. But life feels like an endless cycle. Now imagine she discovers a solution that genuinely helps simplify her schedule, improve her health, and create more control over her daily routine. The value isn't in the mechanics. The value is in what she feels afterward. Relief, hope, energy, possibility. That's what people pay for. Before transformation, Sarah feels overwhelmed. After transformation, she feels empowered. Before transformation, she feels stuck. After transformation, she feels capable. Before transformation, she doubts herself. After transformation, she trusts herself again. And that's why great offers create such powerful results. They're not selling products, they're selling better versions of people's lives. This lesson becomes especially important when fear enters the equation. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of wasting money,
fear of being disappointed. Every customer carries emotional baggage into every buying decision. Your offer either increases that burden or helps remove it. The best offers remove it. Think about someone trying to start a business. They've watched videos, read articles, listened to podcasts, taken notes, yet they haven't started. Why? Because information isn't the problem. Fear is. They fear losing money. They fear criticism. They fear looking foolish. They fear making mistakes. Now imagine they find a mentor who provides guidance, structure, support, accountability, and a clear path forward. The mentor isn't simply delivering information, they're reducing emotional friction. That's incredibly valuable. Here's something remarkable. When people feel understood, they become more open. When people feel seen, they become more trusting. When people feel hopeful, they become more willing to act. That's why great offers create such powerful results. They're not selling products, they're selling better versions of people's lives. And perhaps the most important realization from this entire book is this: business growth is often the byproduct of helping people move from where they are to where they desperately want to be. The greater that transformation feels, the greater the value becomes. Imagine your own goals right now. Maybe you're trying to earn more. Maybe you're trying to improve your health. Maybe you're trying to create freedom for your family. Maybe you're trying to build something meaningful. At the center of every one of those goals is a desired transformation. That's exactly what customers are searching for too. Does this sound familiar?
Real-life application. Now let's bring all of these ideas into the real world. Because knowledge without action is entertainment. Knowledge with action becomes transformation. And one of the biggest reasons people never see results from business books is simple. They read, they get inspired, they nod their heads, and then nothing changes. So let's make sure that doesn't happen here. Step 1. Rewrite your offer around the outcome. This week, take a piece of paper and write down what you currently sell. Then ask yourself a different question. What ultimate result does this create for the customer? If you're a fitness coach, don't stop at workout plans. Focus on confidence, energy, health, and lifestyle improvement. If you're a financial advisor, don't stop at investment management. Focus on security, freedom, and peace of mind. If you're a consultant, don't stop at strategy. Focus on growth, clarity, and measurable results. Your customer doesn't wake up wanting your service. They wake up wanting the outcome your service creates. The faster you understand that distinction, the more powerful your offer becomes. Step 2. Identify every fear your customer has. Most business owners spend all their time thinking about what customers want. Spend equal time thinking about what customers fear. Create a list. Fear of wasting money, fear of failure, fear of making the wrong decision, fear of looking foolish, fear of not getting results. Now ask yourself, how can I reduce each one? Maybe you provide better communication. Maybe you offer stronger guarantees. Maybe you create clearer expectations. Maybe you share success stories. Every fear you remove increases trust, and every increase in trust increases the likelihood of action. Step 3. Increase value before increasing price. Many people immediately focus on charging more, but the better question is, how can I create more value? Can I provide additional support? Can I create faster results? Can I simplify the process? Can I improve the customer experience? Can I offer more accountability? Can I help customers avoid costly mistakes? The businesses that command premium prices rarely win because they're expensive. They win because customers believe they're worth it. And perceived value is something you can improve starting today. Imagine spending the next week applying these 3 steps. You rewrite your offer around transformation. You reduce customer fears. You increase perceived value. Nothing magical happens overnight, but something important begins. You start seeing your business through your customer's eyes. And that shift alone can change everything. Because once you understand what people truly value, you're no longer guessing, you're solving, you're serving, you're creating offers that people genuinely want. As we bring this summary to a close, let's remember the three biggest ideas from this book. First, customers don't buy products, they buy outcomes and transformations. Second, reducing risk often creates more sales than increasing persuasion. Third, the most valuable offers connect deeply with human emotions, desires, fears, and aspirations. When you combine those three ideas, something powerful happens. You stop competing on price. You stop chasing customers. You stop wondering why people aren't buying. Instead, you begin creating offers so valuable, so relevant, and so compelling that saying yes becomes the obvious choice. Think about how different your career, business, side hustle, or future opportunities could look if you consistently focused on creating exceptional value. Think about the doors that could open. Think about the confidence you could build. Think about the impact you could create. And perhaps most importantly, think about the people you could genuinely help. Because at its core, great business isn't about taking from people. It's about serving people so well that they happily exchange money for the transformation you provide. That's the real lesson behind this book. Not manipulation, not pressure, not tricks. Value, trust, transformation. And the people who master those principles often discover something remarkable. The more value they create for others, the more opportunities they create for themselves. That's a principle that applies far beyond business. It applies to careers, relationships, leadership, personal growth, and life itself. Because the people who solve meaningful problems will always be valuable. The people who create meaningful transformations will always be needed. And the people who focus relentlessly on helping others succeed often become successful themselves. So as you move through the rest of your day, ask yourself one simple question. What transformation can I help create for someone else? Because the answer to that question might be worth far more than you realize. If today's summary made you think differently, you're in the right place. At Daily Audio Insights, we break down the world's most powerful books so you get the wisdom without the weight. Hit subscribe, drop a comment telling me which lesson hit hardest, and I'll see you in the next one.